Hello, my name is Owen Snape, and I am presenting on the Eyjafjallajokull Eruption of 2010 in Iceland. This is for MEA 100. So the Eyjafjallajokull Eruption occurred in Iceland on March 20th, 2010, after several months of smaller eruptions around the outskirts of the volcano. This volcano is classified as a stratovolcano, as seen in the diagram here. It sits over a rift zone, and it's made mostly of basalt. This is the rift zone. You can see at the very bottom, the volcano is separated by the North American plate and the Eurasian plate. So as these smaller eruptions spread to the center of the volcano, the ice surrounding the crater began to melt, and water began to flow into the volcano. This cooling caused a large amount of magma to turn to jagged ash, which erupted into plumes that spread out quickly, as you can see in the picture here. This ash billowing out, shot from surrounding rural homes. So Iceland declared a state of emergency as the ash clouds began to grow. As you can see, the way that the ash flows, it becomes cloudy and floats in the air, and then begins to settle and deposit on the biosphere, hydrosphere, different parts of the environment. People all around in rural areas surrounding had to wear goggles and face masks due to the thickness of the ash. Over 500 local farmers and their families located around the volcano had to be evacuated, and a lot of the surrounding roads were shut down. Luckily, there were no deaths or serious immediate injuries, although many people in the area sustained respiratory issues following the explosion. So this exploded ash actually stayed in the atmosphere and blew over the Atlantic to Europe, which was the brunt of the actual damage to the social parts of the countries surrounding it. The exploded ash blew over the Atlantic, as you can see here with the path, and halted a lot of aircraft activity in Europe for almost a week. And the economic impact of this was huge, charted in the billions of dollars, and everything was basically put on hold, air flight wise. The real danger of this was that the volcanic ash was actually electrically conductive, which meant that it could have caused thunder and lightning. So that was really the real damage and why they couldn't have any aircraft. You can see the picture of all the flights that were canceled on that day and throughout that week. So the environmental impact was huge, but honestly could have been a lot worse considering the size of the eruption. The ash from the volcano deposited dissolved iron into the Atlantic, which caused a plankton bloom. Here, just kind of an example picture of what a plankton or algae bloom looks like. And this started to imbalance certain ecosystems across the ocean and had effects that kind of spread out all across the ocean. Water sources were also contaminated around the volcano, which killed a lot of livestock. A lot of greenery in the surrounding area struggled to survive the ash for several months following. And the eruption in mid-April, because there are several eruptions kind of right afterwards, actually melted a glacier and caused a major flood, which, as you can see here, took out certain Icelandic roads. And ironically, the reduction of the CO2 emissions because of the grounded plains actually made up for the CO2 emitted from the eruption. So the overall environmental impact, honestly, was not as serious as a lot of other eruptions of the size. And after this tragedy, the International Civil Aviation Organization formed the International Volcanic Ash Task Force to examine how to determine and define hazardous airspace due to volcanic activity, and many other regulations were updated or formed to be better prepared for future ash deposits. And a lot of research towards aircraft safety began afterwards from a lot of universities, including some like Embry-Riddle. And here are the references I have. Thank you.